Hello, Algebra 1 students. You guys are doing a great job with pre-algebra skills so far. Today we are going to look at two-step equations. I just want to make this one note before we go any further. I have been looking over your work and I love your answers, and I know it can be difficult to write on your iPad or to type up the answers, but it's really important that you show your work. And I know some of the lessons that we've done up to this point, sometimes you can answer in your head without showing your work. But this is the lesson where showing your work becomes really important. If you're not getting the correct solutions, a lot of times it's, a missed negative sign or going in the other direction, maybe subtracting when we should have added. But the only way I can tell what you're doing is if you show your work. So I've left you some feedback on your assignments so far and written, please show your work. So this is where I want you to show your work. So example 1A, we're going to jump right in. Now, when you go to fill out your notes in Google Classroom, remember I attached two versions. I attach one version that looks exactly like my notes, the PowerPoint slides or the Google slides stretched out. So this is, I think, 6 or 8 pages. I'm not sure how many today. And there's the shorter version that has more problems per page. You only have to complete one of those. You don't have to do both. And in fact, a lot of you are deleting the one you don't want. Perfect. Just pick one, whichever works better for you. If you're printing them, you probably don't want to print the 8 pages. So I wanted to have two options for you. So let's look at letter A. We want to solve for the variable, x minus -4 equals 7. This minus a negative is really plus. So I would rewrite this as x plus 4 is equal to 7. Now, this is a one-step equation like we did yesterday. A few of you out there were telling me that this would be equal to 11, but that's not true. We have to subtract 4 from both sides. X is equal to 3. That's the solution. For letter B, this is where we see two-step equations. Your job is to get the W by itself. So we want to subtract 9 on both sides. 10 minus 9 is 1. Bring down the W. Now, don't forget to bring down the negative sign as well. And then 9 minus 9, you don't have to bring down because 9 minus 9 is 0. Those cancel out. Now, what number is really in front of this W? It's really a -1. So if I have negative 1 times W, I need to divide both sides by -1. So 1 divided by -1 is -1. Good. For letter C, again, you want to solve for x. Maybe I'll highlight that instead. Solve for x. So our job is going to be to add 4 to both sides. When I say both sides, I mean both sides of the equal sign. 5 plus 4 is 9. -4 plus 4 is 0. Those cancel out. And then I bring down the negative x. Just like the last problem, in front of that negative sign, or between the negative sign and the x, is really a -1. So to get x by itself, I divide both sides by -1. X is equal to -9. And these are called two-step equations because we have two operations. We have add and multiply, or we have subtract and divide, or we have subtract and multiply. You've got two things that you have to take care of. So basically, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of practice with these. For letter D, draw in that line first. Some of you, by the way, have been showing me beautiful work. Keep it up. Add 12 on both sides of the equal sign. You have to keep it balanced. Bring down a 4y. We know that -12 plus 12 cancels out. 28 plus 12 is going to be 40. So 4y equals 40. To solve for y, I divide both sides by 4. Y is equal to 10. In letter E, subtract the 15. You're going to leave the variable right where it is each time. I didn't highlight it last time, but leave the variable exactly where it is. It doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. Just leave it sitting there. So in letter E, I subtract 15 on both sides. 15 minus 15 is 0. Those cancel out. So I bring down a -3x is equal to 9 minus 15 is -6. To get x by itself, I divide both sides by -3. X is equal to 2. For letter F, I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides of the equal sign. M over 2 is equal to negative 11. Now this over, as a reminder, means divide. So how do we undo divide? We multiply both sides by 2. M is equal to negative 22. Hopefully, well, I'm not sure if this is review for you or not. For some of you, you may have seen this before. Awesome. Some of you may have only seen the one-step equations last year, but whatever it is, I'm going to help you out. I'm here. Some of you have been leaving me notes and sending me emails. I did want to say, if you leave me a note in Google Classroom, I try to look for those as quick as I can, but I get over 100 emails from Google Classroom every day, so sometimes they get lost. So if there's something that you need me for right away, make sure you email in my email address directly. Oop, I gotta zoom in here. That's kind of weird. My iPad froze a little bit. All right, let's keep going here. 4 minus 3 on the right is 1. And then my 3 minus 3, again, those cancel out to 0. And I bring down the x over 7. This over means divide, so to handle the divide, we multiply both sides by 7. 1 times 7 is equal to 7. Excuse me. For letter H, our job is to solve for W. So again, there's that W, there's my x variable. This x variable over here will handle. In letter H, I'm going to subtract 40 on both sides. 100 minus 40 is 60, is equal to 5W. And again, that 40 minus 40 cancels out. So 5W means 5 times W. So to get the W by itself, to undo times, we divide by 5. 60 divided by 5 is 12, is equal to W. In letter I, now this one's a little bit different. This one has divide first. In order to move this 2 or to get rid of this 2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So on the left, 2 times 20 is really 40. On the right, this 2, so these look a little funny. This 2 on the bottom and this 2 on the top cancel out. So I bring down the x minus 5. Now, in order to get the x by itself, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So 40 plus 5 leaves us with 45. All right, you guys try these. I'm going to pause the video here. Go ahead and give them a try. And then let me look ahead. I'm going to have you try those 6 as well. And then I'm going to pop a few questions in Edpuzzle. It's because we're not live together. It's a quick way for you to get feedback. I kind of like it. All right, there you go. Just like that, magic. They're already completed. For letter A, I subtracted 7 on both sides first, and then I divided by 8. Now, on this particular problem, we wound up with a decimal. You can get decimals and fractions for your answers. It doesn't mean if you get one, you're wrong, but the majority of them have been set up to work out to be whole numbers or integers. So I'm thinking that this one was a little bit of a typo, but that's okay. I have 34 over 8, which reduces to 17 over 4, which turns into 16 and 1/4, which is 6.25. Any one of those answers would be fine. In letter B, I added 10 to both sides first, and then I multiplied by 2 to undo that division, and n is equal to 8. In letter C, I subtracted 1 on both sides, and then divided both sides by -9, and I have a +9. As a reminder, use your calculator to help you out. If you get stuck on those multiplication facts, and you always have, that's no big deal. Just use your calculator to help out. All right, I've got 3 more here for you to try. So again, give them a go, and then check your answers in a minute. All right, here we go. 3 more. For letter D, excuse me, I subtracted 5 on both sides first, and then I divided by -4. My answer is 5. For letter E, remember that minus and negative right here. This double negative becomes addition. So B plus 4 equals 16. I subtracted 4 on both sides and got 12. For letter F, I added 13 on both sides. Just watch your signs over here. Negative 103 plus 13 is really subtraction. Your calculator, again, can help you out with that. Divide both sides by negative 9, and x is equal to 10. All right, so a few questions on Edpuzzle. Oh, I was wrong. I had more for you to try, and then we'll do Edpuzzle. This is what happens when you don't look ahead. All right, here we go. Letter G is pretty straightforward. I added 9 on both sides, and then I multiplied by 5, and my answer is 55. Letter H, students never like this type of problem. I don't blame you. It seems like the order is a little bit backwards than it is. Multiply both sides by 7. X plus 3 is equal to 28. Subtract 3 on both sides, and we get a 25. Letter I, you're subtracting this 12 that's over here with the m on both sides. Negative m is equal to 0. Divide both sides by negative 1, and m is equal to 0. Now we're going to try Edpuzzle.